So, without further ado, we talked about relaxing, how to have a nice, relaxing cross-country flight without tears and fears. And now we're going to have a further discussion of that theme with Bob Wander and taking a slow walk.
Thank you. Emma, a quick question for you. How did you get interested in flying? Your family flies, maybe? Well, then you're like me. Nobody else in my family flies, and they think I'm crazy to do it, but I'm not. And neither are you, so welcome. It's nice to have you. All right, did we get up here? Okay, let's see what we've got here. First thing is, just a little review from something that came up yesterday that might help you who want to be cross-country pilots and who want to follow Lou's discussion of, well, you can airport hop. I want to show you something that isn't clear on the charts. You see the city of Owatonna there? Yeah. At least it's labeled. Yeah, you're welcome to come closer if it's difficult to see, and I'll make these photographs available to you. Just 4 slides, 4 photographs. Owatonna, right, there's the airport. There's a turn in Interstate 35. You go to Medford and it makes a turn to the northwest, and of course Stanton would be up here. We're a little closer now, and you can, close in, you can see the airport, I think, at Owatonna, the runway layout and so on. And you can see Medford and the mall, and you can see that turn where Interstate 35 turns to the northwest. We're closing in now a little bit more. We've really got Medford here and that turn to the northwest. And we have a gravel pit. And then just north of that gravel pit is an airport. Do you see the runway there?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's where Interstate 35 coming north out of Owatonna, then Medford, and it goes from due north essentially to north-northwest. Just at that curve, the gravel pit, the runway, aligned about roughly 300 degrees. This is a hangar on the east end of the runway, and when you're over it and you're low, which I've managed to do, you can tell whether the hangar door is open or closed. So if you need it on the way to Owatonna, there's a glider suitable, privately owned airport that is not depicted on the charts, but it's there. I fly over it in my Cessna all the time. So if you need it, there's another airport you can hop to. Like I say, I'll be happy to make those photographs available if people want to see it. You mind?
That's on the charts?
It is not charted. It is not charted. Yeah, I don't know why. Say again?
Do you know the owner? Are they amenable?
Well, that's a very good question. So I have a good friend at Faribault Airport where I fly. I'm from Faribault too, Emma. There's Bob Peasley, retired skipper, 757 United Airlines. I'm sorry, Delta Airlines. And he told me that the owner of the field told him, as he flies his decathlon around, he says, anytime you want to stop in for a chat, if you see the hangar doors open, well, stop in. So if I land there and the hangar door isn't open, I'm going to open the hangar door to prove that I'm welcome. Right? Hey, the hangar door, it's open. So that's the deal. Okay. So, yeah, worth marking on your charts and stuff.
Just north of the gravel pit, right?
Yeah, immediately north of the gravel pit and the Barrow, which is the lake that forms right when they mine it. Okay. Yeah, I'll put this up again at the end if you like. Well, why don't we just do it now, because that makes the most sense. I think I can zoom in here too, right? Is that working? Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
So you can see the turn in the road,
Yes.
which is easy to see. The gravel pit and the Barrow, that's water, where the water table filled in from the borrowed gravel. And then a grass runway. I don't know about wires. There are 2 roads close by, so, and you can't see wires, so make an intelligent approach, assuming there's an obstacle, because it's just a little private strip. But it's certainly plenty to get a glider into. Might be handy. So somebody named an airport yesterday that I didn't know about between Stanton Airport and Faribault, if I heard that correctly, a private strip out here somewhere. So if I heard that correctly, if somebody could tell me where that is, I'll mark it and bring a photo in tomorrow.
You're thinking of Paul Stanton, was that Paul Stanton's?
Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, okay. Then I misunderstood where it was.
That is on the charts.
Yeah, okay.
And this is north of Clinton Falls?
Yeah. Again, I'll go back to the first slide, but there's the airport. I could zoom in more, but I think you get the idea. Mm-hmm. Boom, right? And where it is, we'll just go get it again.
It's north of Medford.
Yeah, so here's Owatonna, Clinton Falls, Medford. Here's that turn, which is so easy to see from the air, the turn to the west. There's the gravel pit. There's your airport. From Google Earth, I just got these this morning for you. I have to zoom up a bit, but it's really not, it's not hard to find. Just find that turn and you'll find the field, just on the east side. So if that helps you, there it is. And let me know how it works for you. And don't forget to open the hangar door if there's any doubt. All right, next item is a little PowerPoint show. See if we can get this going for you. Yeah, there it is. So what's this all about? A walk in the park. It depends on how you like to do stuff. Some people like to do stuff for their own enjoyment. Some people play music on their piano and never let anybody else listen. For some other people, if nobody's listening, they don't want to play, right? It's personal, it's public, you get to choose. So, here, I hope that's readable in the cheap seats back there. Is the type large enough? Just enough, I think. What if every article, every reference, or every mention of the following activities, everything you ever saw in print, on the radio, on TV, or whatever, what if it was only about racing and competition? Any bicyclists in here? Bicycle owners? All of us, pretty much? Or walking the Appalachian Trail? What if it was always written about as if it was a competition you had to win? Or hiking in the Black Hills, where I grew up? Hiking the beautiful lake country of England? What if that was only competitive? The only time you ever heard about it was in a racing scenario or a racing background. Same thing with the beautiful Scottish Highlands. I happen to like the UK. I studied there a long time ago. How about going to the National Memorial for the Gettysburg Battle, July of 1863? What if touring that was a race? It'd be kind of peculiar, wouldn't it, to think of it that way? Or maybe singing in a choir, or quilting, or knitting, competitive knitting.
Yoga.
Yoga, yeah, I wish I'd thought of that. I'll put that on the next one. Yeah, competitive yoga. See if you could play the Bach organ fugue faster than anybody else in the world. Landscape painting. If all you ever read about those was that they were competitive in nature, some of us at least probably wouldn't give it another look. Wouldn't be interested. Well, let's take a look at competition in a couple of sports, and then we'll take a look at soaring. We'll take a look at walking in the park, by the way, too. Here's an interesting sport. You said a lot of you are bicyclists. This is clearly competitive, right? I mean, I don't think you can be much more competitive than that. Not all of those faces look real happy to me, but it is a competition. Now, in competition, there are some happy people. This guy's looking pretty good, but see this guy and this guy and this guy, they don't look so happy, right? There's more than one side to competition, and not everybody can be a winner all the time. I kind of like the non-competitive biking myself. This guy is having fun, okay? He's just cruising around, big smile on his face. This is one of those old Columbia paperboard bikes. You recognize the spring there that bikes used to have 50 and 60 years ago? They weighed about 90 pounds. You could sell them for scrap metal for more than a Buick. So this guy is happy, not competitive. Let's take a look at swimming, another activity. Any people in here swim in the land of 10,000 lakes? Anybody not swim? Yeah. Really? Patty, you got a Liverpool. Didn't you have a swimming pool in Liverpool? Come on.
Times were off
You
when
could-
I was a lad.
You could swim in the Mersey, though, right?
No.
But only once. Yeah. So, competitive swimming. This guy is obviously a ferocious competitor. I don't know who that is. Some of you probably do. I think I know who the next guy is. He looks competitive and buffed and going fast. He doesn't look particularly happy to me. Whereas, look how happy they are. No competition. And you have to hand it to presumably a mom who can manage a beautiful smile underwater. Look at that. What a great picture. And then there's a really happy swimmer, not competitive, with about the cutest little toy to use in a pool that I've ever seen. That's such a happy little, even the swim device is happy. Okay, so back to, what if everything that you ever heard about, say rock climbing in the South Dakota Badlands, or touring the American West, at your own pace in an RV. What if all you ever heard about it was that it was competitive? You had to compete. Figure skating, bird watching in, say, what's that Central American country, Costa Rica, that everybody goes to for tremendous bird life and variety of natural life. What if listening to Osmo Vanska, conductor of Minnesota Orchestra, was a competition? Well, it is. I saw it in the Mahler Post-Dispatch right here, the Gustav Mahler Post-Dispatch. Famed Minnesota Orchestra conductor Osmo Vanska. Oh, here, you can read for yourself. There it is, by Jimmy Olsen. It's a oh, did I click past it? Sorry. That was an accidental click. See if I can get it back. You didn't have time to read my slide there. What's the backup on slides, guys? I forget.
Back arrow. Back arrow.
Back arrow. There it is. Okay, thanks for the tip. I'm out of practice with PowerPoint. It's got to be true. It's in the newspaper, right? Yeah. Sorry about the principal cellist. I had to be stretched off in the bottom of the fourth. But, okay. So obviously that's absurd. A couple more. Visiting the Walker, attending a Neil Simon comedy at the Guthrie. Those aren't competitive. Listening to a Minnesota Orchestra performance with headliner Dessa and conductor Sarah Hicks. Yeah. There they are. And there they are again. Dessa, well, I know Dessa really well. I'm learning about Sarah Hicks, and I'm liking what I'm learning.
Those of you
Their
who
team.
don't know, Dessa is...
I just put it on the slide there for you in case you were wondering.
So you win that competition.
Okay, so I think you get the idea. Some of these activities are not competitive in nature. They provide a different kind of reward. It's pretty private for most of us, I think. In at least some of these cases, like knitting and orchestra listening and going to the Guthrie, the idea of competition is really just absurd. So, what about soaring? What's this got to do with us today, gliders, cross-country, and all of that jazz? Let's take a look. The literature for cross-country soaring in the English language is extremely heavily slanted towards racing, efficiency, and competition. I'd say it's 100 to 1. 100 articles on racing and higher performance and faster and higher and better and quicker and smarter compared to, I just had a really wonderful flight and wrote it up in a book. Literally, ratio of about 100 to 1. It's what we see in the English language literature for soaring. I get why it is. It's easily a competitive sport. I get it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying that's not the only way to look at it. After all, when you're flying cross country, it's beautiful. There's a lot of stuff to see. You're concentrating on staying aloft. And if you're like me, when you're flying, you are living in the moment. It's zen-like. I'm not thinking about anything else when I'm flying gliders. And it's physically, at least to the eye, it's beautiful. I wish Brian Utley was here today. When aloft on a cross-country flight, no glider pilot is thinking about mortgage payments or the inkjet printer that doesn't work, or rising damp, as they say in the UK. Do you know what that is? That was Brian's from the UK. That's your foundation is wet and it's creeping up through the masonry and ruining your house. Rising damp.
There was even a TV comedy
Did they make one with that title?
of that title, yes.
Is it funny?
Yes.
Did they lose the house?
No.
Okay.
They had to live in it.
I look forward to watching it, Patty. Thank you for your help. And it's really beautiful when you're flying. In fact, here's a pretty wing of a glider. For those of you who are glider only and have yet to fly out of a different airport than your home airport, there's the Albert Lee Airport right there. Right? Very pretty. There's a lake and, oh, well, there's a glider. Let me look at that a little more closely. Oh, that's an ASW-20. I can see Gulf Hotel. That's Leon Zeig down there. Leon, what are you doing down there? What are you doing down there, man?
Trying to climb in your thermal.
You're so small, I can hardly see you.
Yeah, is he in the landing pattern?
That really was Gulf
Not
Hotel.
being competitive.
I knew somebody would nail me on that. Yeah, I knew it. I should have moved a little quicker. Soaring cross country, you're alive, you're in the moment, you are totally occupied with the demands of the mission that's on your back. Your job is, the mission is to complete the flight, this grand adventure, and have a great time doing it, and then bring it to a safe conclusion, right? And this is one of my favorite catchphrases in all of soaring. You can land any place you like, except here. That's what Walt Hardy, the patron saint of cross-country soaring here at the Minnesota Soaring Club for decades, said when he was launching someone in a badge flight, he'd walk up, make sure they're all checked and everything ready, radio, everything tuned. They'd help them close the canopy, and they'd just lead in and say, now, just get this straight. You can land anywhere you want except here. And then he'd walk away. Away they would go. So, Walt Hardy's daughter, by the way, is a 100-ton Coast Guard captain. She operates one of the ferries between Madeline Island and Bayfield, Wisconsin. She's done that for 20-odd years. Our mutual friend, Ron McLaughlin, knows her very well. So, when you're soaring cross-country, you can set your own pace. You do not have to be fast. I really like it that Lou brought this up yesterday, and it gave me a chance to work it up a little more. You can go slow, if you like, take your time, enjoy the birds, the clouds, smell the roses. I interrupted a cross-country flight one time because 4 miles away I saw this huge orange thing in the sky. I had no idea what it was. It was about 10,000 monarch butterflies. So I just gave up on the cross-country flight and just flew over there just to see, how do they do it? How do they know? They're at 7,000 feet. They're only that big. How do they migrate 2,000, 3,000 miles? I was just mystified by it. So enjoy the show. Do what you want to do. Because it is, like I said, for the eye at least, it's very beautiful up there, the stuff that we do. So the only person who will really know anything about your cross-country flight or your badge flight or even your state record a week after you fly it, the only person who will know it or remember anything about it is you. It's not really a public sport, you know. We're not on the wide world of sports, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and all that jazz. So if you believe this is true, then fly it any way you like. That'll be happy to recall. That it'll be fun, not scary. Fly to please yourself. If you want to, forget about the clock. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. If you want to race and you're competitive and you always want a personal best, go for it. But if that doesn't appeal to you, there is another way to fly cross country. Just do it. Beautiful stuff. This happens to be a picture from Germany. That's a Siebert C3, and so is that. It's similar to the orange glider that you saw, identical, in fact, that you saw earlier. But I just put the picture in there because it's beautiful to see this stuff in the air. Still pictures don't tell the story. When you see other gliders circling with you in the thermal, it's just magical, exciting. So, set reasonable goals, dream small. It's really your only hope for success, according to despair.com. I love that. That's where it came from. I love that little guy climbing up that rock. Competing can be hard, and not all defeat is easy to take. Not all pain is gain. I feel sorry for that guy. Then this is actually a genuine pen and pencil set. Again, from despair.com. Do your best or don't, whatever. Be prepared, always have an excuse. My favorite is, mistakes are stepping stones to failure. I'll put that slide up later again if you want. Mistakes are stepping stones to failure. So you can compete if you like, and I take competition and some other stuff seriously. I was an independent solo classical musician for a living. If you want competition, try doing that. Everything you do, every audition you play, there's somebody in there who's every bit as good as you are. I get competition. Here's two guys. These guys are actually running in a marathon in Death Valley. They're about halfway through. They're half a step apart. That is competition. It's tremendous what these guys are doing. If this is what you like, soaring has got plenty of it. It's got all you want. Not everybody competes, though. This guy didn't do too well. You can see the empty water bottle the skeleton has. In the close detail, if you look, they actually put a dried out rattlesnake around his neck just to make it complete. So you can compete like those guys and run fast and make it very competitive or a personal best, or you can just take a walk in the park. Here's a beautiful road on an autumn day at our latitude. It's a nice little path there, and there's a couple of people walking it. You can look at that road two ways. If you're a bicyclist or a runner, you can see I got my stopwatch and I'm going to do a personal best on this beautiful day, timed over the course. Yay! Or you can do what I admit I'm more prone to do, just sort of lollygag along there like a monkey with a parasol and just kind of enjoy the day. Watch the leaves fall, look for the birds. Same here, these guys are obviously just enjoying a nice walk in the park, no hurry. And the same here, another beautiful road. You can run down it at the highest speed or cycle down it as fast as you can go, or you can just stroll. You get to choose. The highway in the sky is just the same as those roads that you saw there. This is Central Park, Manhattan. On a beautiful day, what beautiful trees they have there. And lots of people just strolling through the park, having a nice time. Nothing competitive about it. So, fast or slow, no regrets, because regrets, it says down below here for this sad Android guy, it says, regrets, those were the droids you were looking for. If you're a Star Wars enthusiast, that will mean something to you. So, if you find that you flew on a beautiful day and ended up hating your performance, ruining the flight, if you find that you beat yourself up mercilessly over small delays or mistakes, or if you find that you are frequently angry at yourself with your involvement in soaring, then maybe, perhaps, you're doing it wrong. And I'll give you some examples. I don't know about you guys, but you see this guy bent over here? There's nothing in what he's doing that gives me confidence that he's going to help solve the problem. There's just something about that guy. And then one more in this series. This is my all-time favorite.
Who is that guy?
I don't know, but I feel sorry for that guy. It's from some 50-year-old high school yearbook. The smiling thing is not natural for him. Okay, so the last slide from despair.com. Winners! Because nothing says you're a loser more than owning a motivational poster about being a winner. Ouch. Yeah. So, set your own pace, enjoy the ride, and may the Schwartz be with you. That's all I got. Any questions on that? Then I have a couple of questions or observations for you. Let's say somebody flies a hot glider out of here and makes it to Albert Lee or Lake Mills or someplace in Iowa in, say, 2 hours. Pretty good performance on a medium day. And somebody else takes, let's say, a medium performance glider and takes 6 hours to do it. Same task, 3 times as long. Who do you think is going to have the better tails at the rehydration, I like your phrase, when they get back to the airport?
How many low Cs did the low performance glider have to make?
How many do you want? What I think is that the 6-hour person is going to have a grand story to tell that might even be more fun to listen to than the 2-hour person. So if you seek fast times and stuff, if that works for you in gliding, great. If you're looking for other stuff and you don't care about fast times, well, it's a walk in the park if that's what you want it to be. Now, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Just a question to emphasize that, to see if I'm thinking right. So, in a PW5, if you're just taking a stroll in the park, you're averaging 40 miles an hour maybe on a decent day?
That'd probably be a pretty good stroll, I would say. In a PW5, for those of you who don't know, is a glider of about 30 to 1 performance, kind of a short wing little bird, 13.5 meters, single seat glider.
Yeah, but where I'm going is with that, you can do a 300K triangle in 4 hours.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, my Salto was only a little bit better than PW5, and I flew that well over 500 kilometers. I could have made 700, except I could have made Arkansas. I opened the air brakes from 5,000 feet to descend in central Missouri, because my crew, I couldn't reach him anymore, and he had to be back the next morning for his 3-year-old daughter's birthday party. Had to be back. And I couldn't call him off. I couldn't reach him on radio. Say, just forget it. Take the car and go back to Faribault. Leave it. I'm going to the Gulf.
We would have come and gotten you the next day.
Well, it brings a tear to my eye, Leon, thank you. Did you have a further
My
observation?
point is that we think of a 300K triangle as a big, big flight. And in Minnesota, you got lots of time to finish that in a day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no pedal to the metal
Yeah.
required.
And for what it's worth, on about June 20th, June 10th, somewhere years ago, the latest I've ever had a usable thermal was 7:45 in the evening. So everybody thinks it's over by 5 o'clock. No, you're not. It isn't. Pay attention. It isn't. Stay high. Don't get low late. But the atmosphere cooks, particularly around the solstice, the 21st of June, cooks for a very long time. Okay, then the next thing that I'm charged to do here, one more question on that particular topic? Okay, then, how many of you have a bronze badge? Wow, okay. How many would like to have a bronze badge? I could do this privately with you, I think. What I want to show you is a new resource that's available, the Soaring Safety Foundation. The website is soaringsafety.org. No hyphens, no spaces, no caps, just soaringsafety.org. And what they have done, this is, we should be live on the website here, this is in the flight training programs, bronze badge study guide, right? Flight training, bronze badge, that's where we are. Distance learning, the bronze badge. This is a practice set of questions for the bronze badge exam. You take it online, you don't have to sign in or anything. I haven't signed in, they don't know who I am at the moment. And you can select either a random set of 20 multiple choice questions, a sequential set of 20 questions starting at question number 82 or 250 or whatever you want, or a random set of 20 questions with a focus on one of these 7 subject areas: aeromedical factors, aeronautical decision making. So which one do we want to select, because we're going to take a few of these? Which one?
Top one.
Anything but airspace.
Random. Okay, so I selected it, and now I take the quiz. Off we go. It'll work. Yeah, it's a minor bug, but it works.
Okay, all right.
Yep. Okay, so best LRD speed would be the speed to fly when A, thermaling, B, flying to a landing field in a headwind, C, flying to a landing field in a tailwind, D, flying to a landing field in a crosswind. What do we say? Okay, all of you who have bronze badges, give them back, okay? Right now. Yeah, we won't spend too much time on this, but you get the idea. You go through, you take the exam, it always is a 20-question block, and then you get scored at the end, and it tells you not only if you were right, but if you were wrong, why you were wrong, and the reference for it. They have a complete encyclopedic set of references so you can look this stuff up. You don't have to take their word for it. There's about 280 to 300 questions on here, so it's a very good preparation for the bronze badge exam. I suspect it's also a very good review for those of you who somehow earned a bronze badge by working the edges, yeah, and just kind of getting in just over the edge. Any questions on this? Okay, well that's pretty much a wrap then for me, Dick.
Great.